Hello everyone, I'm going to be walking you through the really cool new automated postseason builder feature. This is video 1 of 2. I have to break this up into different videos because it's too much content. There's too much to dive into to cover this in one video. So this is video number 1, and you'll see that I am in my sample league here. Quick disclaimer, this video and the subsequent video are going to assume that you know a fair amount about running a league on PennantChase. If you've never run a league on PennantChase before, that's okay. You might still be able to glean some things here, but some of this might be a little confusing, so I just want to call that out. The other thing I want to note is that you'll notice I'm doing this demo in a baseball league, but all these features work the exact same way for all the sports on the site. So let's jump in to Commissioner Tools here. And you'll see at the bottom, we have some new links called Automated Postseason. So this part 1 video, I'm going to cover this first link called Automate Postseason Tasks. And this really focuses on the tasks that you used to have to do over here in the right column, the end of season tasks. When your regular season was over, you had to do all these things, right? Archive stats and award your trophies and all that, right? So this is going to give you the option to automate some of those things. And then the next video, I'm going to talk about the actual building out of the playoffs, and you're going to have the option to automatically build out your playoffs, right? So let's start with this link, Automate Postseason Tasks, and it's going to take us to this page where we can toggle some different options here. So quick note, in this screen recording application, I know you're not going to be able to see the drop-down selections. You'll be able to see the value that I pick in the drop-down when I change it. So that's the most important thing. I apologize for the fact that you can't see the drop-down selections, but I think this is going to suffice. So the first choice, first of all, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to set all these to no, because when you first get in here for your league, everything's going to be set to no, right? There's going to be no automation that's actually going to take place. And by the way, you can still run PennantChase in the old school way. You can do everything manually. None of that has changed. This is just giving you the option to automate some things when your regular season games conclude, right? So at the end, when your final regular season game sims, all these automated tasks will trigger. So the first option here is called preseason mode. Now this is important because this is something you're going to want to turn on if you are doing like a spring training, or you're just experimenting and playing around in your league, and you don't want automated tasks to happen accidentally after you're done with your schedule, right? So you would turn on preseason mode if you're like doing spring training or something like that. And I'm going to show you what happens when I save this. And then I go to my league homepage, and you can see now I get this yellow banner that says this league is in preseason mode. No automated tasks will trigger when the schedule is completed. So that is there to remind you that you are in preseason mode, so that you don't stay in preseason mode when you move on to your regular season. Because if you do stay in preseason mode, then none of the automated tasks would actually happen, right? But you could be in preseason mode, you can play around, you won't accidentally trigger any automation. Okay, let's go back to Commissioner Tools now and go back to this page. And I'm going to turn preseason mode off because we're ready to start showing you how the automation works, right? So your first option here is to automate the archiving of stats. So as most commissioners know, when your season was over, you had to manually go in and click archive stats, and you pick your stats year. Now you can do that right here. You can just say automatically archive my stats when my regular season ends, and you can pick which year the stats will archive as. You only have to set this value once, and then each subsequent season you simulate, this value will increment. So you only have to really worry about this once. So let's say in my first season here, I want the stats to archive as 2023. So I'm going to leave that value. Now you have the option to automatically grant your player awards like MVP and Cy Young, etc. If you want to automatically grant awards, you can turn that on. If you are a custom league that typically does a user vote for your awards, which I know a lot of custom leagues do that, they let their users vote, then you're going to want to leave this set to no, right? But if you want to do it automatically and you don't really care about users voting for awards, then you could set it to yes. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to set everything to yes so I can show you how everything works. And then your next option here is automatically grant team trophies. So what this will do is at the end of your regular season, your division winners will automatically be given a division title award on their team page. And at the end of your league championship, if you do the automated postseason option, it will grant a league championship trophy to that team. And it will also grant the user a ring on their profile. So you no longer would have to manually request from me a ring for that user. So I am definitely looking forward to getting fewer ring requests as a result of this new feature. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Now, one thing I want to point out is that these two options here will only work if you put automate archiving stats on, right? So it needs to know which season it's assigning the awards and the trophies to. So you have to turn automate archiving of stats to yes in order for these two features to work. Okay. And then finally, your last option is automatically set next season's draft order. So if you're running a draft in your next season, this will automatically sort your draft order worst record first. Those of you who have been commissioners before are aware of the fact that at the end of the regular season, previously you had to manually remember to do this to set your draft order when your season was over, but now the system can do it automatically when the season ends. So I'm going to go ahead and save all these settings. And you can see now it's going to give me a link to the Automate Your Postseason Schedule page, and that takes me to the Playoff Builder Step 1. I want to show you that, by the way, this is the same link that's on the Commissioner Tools. So if I go down to Automate Postseason Schedule, there we go. It's the same page, Playoff Builder Step 1. There are 3 steps to automating the build of your postseason schedule. So this feature I'm going to mostly cover in video number 2, but I just want to point out a few things here. So what we just talked about, all those automated tasks, you can turn those on and you can choose to not have the system automatically build your postseason. That's fine if you just want to do that. But if you are a commissioner who wants to have control over when your games are simmed, that's okay. You can still use the playoff builder, and what will happen is the playoff builder will build out your playoff first round, and as you are manually simming through your games, it will continue to build out subsequent rounds. So even if you're going to manually sim your games, I would suggest you do use the automated playoff builder because it will save you time in terms of having to build out each round in your next series. So that's all I want to cover for video 1. This mostly focused on the automated postseason tasks that you can do. And the other option you are going to have is automating the actual postseason schedule, which is the really powerful feature here. So there's a lot to cover because there's 3 different steps involved. So I'm going to save that for video number 2. I will see you there.